everybody, I'm the Pigglesworth, and welcome back to Antimater Chemistry. Go ahead and smack our helmet on, and there we go, now we're ready. Oh my gosh. Okay, so between episodes, I got a chance to look at a lot of different viewer comments trying to help me out with all of this different stuff. Was it this? What is it? The dimlets. All this stuff. Trying to figure out all these things. Y'all gave me some really great suggestions. You gave me some different suggestions on how to kill withers and stuff like that. And then I got to looking on YouTube, and I found a channel where this guy explains RF tools really, really well. I'm trying to digest it. It's like a 55-minute video. It's got a lot of great information in it. And once I can get it to kind of make more sense to me, I will definitely start moving forward with that, and I will also make sure to link to his videos. So any of y'all that are interested in this, you can go check it out as well. I had a couple of viewers say that RF tool dimensions, the mod maker, for lack of a better word, they didn't say it this way, but I'm kind of saying it this way. They didn't do a very good job of documenting the mod so that it makes sense how to play it or what to do with it. But there are a few people that have put out some videos that do a really good detailed explanation as to how this all works. Okay, I just want to see if that had spot for XP. So the first thing we're going to do... Oh good, we got some books in there. I went and made another one, not realizing. I know, we're going to use another star, and everybody's going to lose their mind, but trust me, this is going to be a good thing. If it'll make. Why is it not working? Let's see here. Arcane slot. Okay, there it goes. Ooh, it's just really slow. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a mending book. And the reason why we're going to make a mending book is because we're going to go back through here through our quests and see. Okay, we've gotten is this one? We can see the rewards. Where is it? Inputs hunger. Anubis Mercy. Curse of Disenchantment, 3 uses remaining, only works if worn in offhand or bauble slot. But what this thing is supposed to do is when you die, I think it's supposed to make it... Yeah, Soul Pact. When you die, you will keep your equipment and your active items. So we're going to go ahead and choose that as our reward. Let's see here. What are the rewards here? Oh yeah, these, where we're probably going to need to get transparent fusion electromagnets because they're so difficult to build. We've got fission and fusion. I think fusion, I can't remember. We will have to start messing with that eventually. Let's go ahead and... Oh, it's not used yet. Okay, cool. But anyway, here's the thing. So we put mending on the Anubis Mercy. Where did it go? I thought I selected it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So we're going to put mending on this. And it's only got 3 uses, right? But one of the viewers said, if you put mending on this, then you can make it heal. And when you make it heal, guess what? You can keep reusing it. So even though it's only got 3 uses, technically it's not got 3 uses. Look at that. It's got mending, I tell you. Okay, so, and let's check our bauble slots. We'll go ahead and put that on. Now that's in our bauble slot. We don't have to worry about it being in a hand. And if we end up dying, we can keep our stuff, which is going to be handy because later when we start doing these RF dimensions, if something terrible goes wrong and that dimension shuts itself down, we could get stuck in there and die. Well, if we've got this handy schmandy device right here, we'll keep our stuff, which is just awesome. That must be the tree outside. I'm like, what in the world was that? Okay, so for today what we're going to do, we're going to look at building some of the devices that we're going to need for RF tool dimensions. So I went through and I started bookmarking a bunch of them, somebody giving me a list of items to look up. And if we have a few minutes after that, I'm going to try and explain what I've figured out and how I understand these to work and a few other things. So the first thing we're going to need is 5 of these machine casings. Okay, there's 4. No, don't pick up the bucket, Piggy. You don't need the bucket right now. 3, 4, 5. Okay, there we go. So we've got our 5 machine frames that are going to let us build these different items. So the first thing is going to be a dialing device. We need to make some torches. So let's get some sticks. 1, 2, and put that back. Nope, back out. There we go. So we'll do that. That'll get us some torches. We can place that there. That will get us a dialing device. Okay, that's a... I'm like, wait a minute, did we just build that already? So I can remove that. We need a matter transmitter. Do we have all the items for that? What's telling me I need to put iron along the bottom? I don't understand why this doesn't want to break these down. Let's go ahead and just do that. We'll put that back. Break you down. Break it down. And let's do a little swipe. There we go. So now we've got this matter transmitter. Let's do this. Oh, there we go. My stinking backpack is full. We're just going to start, like, setting these things down here for now. Machine frames, dialing device, dimensional builder. Kind of like the way those screens look, like little computer screens. Sometimes I'll look at stuff like that and I'm like, can you imagine like what kind of cool space stuff you could build out of that? So matter transmitter and a matter receiver. What did I just build? The transmitter? It's got the blue top? Yeah, that's a transmitter. I think those are the things that let you actually step into and out of the portals, but I can't remember. Okay, and so from there we're going to need some ender pearls. Do I have any with me? I got one. All right, so, nope. So let's just go over here, and we should have some ender pearls right in here. Oh, yeah, there's quite a few in there. So I'll hop back over here. Now, we're also going to have to look at one more thing. I may have to do it off camera, but there was another suggestion about making our stuff more fuel efficient. We'll look at that in a minute as well. So that, and back out of here, and we'll get this other one out of the backpack. There we go. We opened up a spot, too. Put you there. Matter receiver. Okay, so we can remove that. Now this one, the phased field generator, we're not going to be able to build that yet because this dimensional shards. As far as I can tell, the only place we're going to get that is in an RF tool dimension. You have to like mine down really low near the bottom of the map, kind of like if you were looking for diamonds. So I think we're going to have to wait on that one. This destination analyzer, oh, we need 4 more. Let's see. Okay, we'll just run over here real quick. I was going to say, let's see if there's anything else that's going to need ender pearls before we just keep having to run back and forth, back and forth. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I'm so used to having that open, I could have just run through there. Could have done a set home thing and just whooped over here, but apparently not. Okay, so that destination analyzer, will take one of those. Going to remove that. And a dimension editor. Now this one, oh my gosh, we actually have the stuff for it. Awesome. The diamonds came in handy. So we'll remove that as well. And we're going to set these over here and then check their interfaces. Interfi? Would that be plural of interfaces? You know what it makes me think of? Like an old school stereo. And there's where the record goes. And there we go. Now we've got like a DJ thing going. Here we go. A little F5. DJ Piggles. I've even got my costume on, so on stage you have no idea who I am. And then we've got the destination analyzer as well. So that one has a little bit of a hammer. This one looks like maybe a spyglass in action. That one looks like a spyglass not doing anything. And I don't know what that would be. The same thing, but something on the left. So if I right-click this, everyone can access this transmitter and change the dialing destination. Use this to identify this transmitter in the dialer. And then it needs power. Okay. I don't know what that's going to do. This I've seen in a video, but I can't remember what it is, but we'll investigate it. Okay. Use this name to identify the receiver. Destination analyzer. This isn't letting me click on it at all. So that's... Okay, so with these, I think what this is you can name this transmitter, and then depending on that name, it will show up like a telephone book. It'll show up as a listing here. and then we can name these different things, and that will let us have access. So we may have to make multiples of these depending on how many dimensions we have. I don't want to get too far into these because, like I said, I'm still trying to learn what they are and try to understand it. But I think this lets us actually make the dimension. And this does something. Way to go, Piggy. That makes a whole lot of sense. But here's the things that I do know so far, and we will look into those. So real quick before I forget, this right here, it was suggested to me, should actually be turned into a compacting drawer. Because I think we can have we can have a block of charcoal. Let's do charcoal. Ooh, block of charcoal. Okay, so it takes 9 pieces of charcoal to make a block. 16,000 ticks for the block. 1,600 ticks. So 16,000 is 10 times more than 1,600. But it only takes 9 pieces of charcoal to make a block. So what it was suggested is if we will turn this into a compacting drawer, it will compact the charcoal that it gets into blocks. Then it will output blocks to these devices. And so we'll be a little bit more fuel efficient. We won't be burning up as much fuel to do things. Now, the other good thing is we'll be able to pull blocks out of here, and anywhere where we're using charcoal to burn stuff, we will be able to be more fuel efficient in that as well. I'm kind of watching that icon in the upper left hand. It's kind of floating at 31,558. Okay, now it's kind of pushing to 9. So I think what I've done with this is I've found a way where we're reaching, yeah, it's going to 60. Okay, so we're really close to equilibrium here, which means that this thing is consuming fractionally less than is being output. So over time, that fraction will add up, and that's why we're seeing fluctuation up and down, up and down. About every minute or so, it's probably ending up with one more piece of charcoal than is being made. I think that's how that's working. But if we can make that compacting drawer there, that is going to give us one extra piece of charcoal per block that's burning, and then that will start to compound as well, and we'll end up with even more charcoal in there, which is cool. It's nice to know. It's the little things that count, right? Okay, so let's see here. With this, the dimlet workbench. So dimlets. This is the first thing. It was the craziest thing. It kind of smacked me in the face. I was watching that tutorial video. Dimlet. For the longest time, I've been watching or doing this series and not understanding what in the world the word dimlet means. A dimlet. Dimensional lit. Does that kind of make sense? So sometimes, when you take a word and you want it to sound like something that's small or a little piece, L-E-T will go at the end of it. Like, it makes it sound small. I can't even think of it. Put down in the comment section if you can think of a word that uses L-E-T. Like, the only thing that comes to mind is the nickname, one of the nicknames that we give to our little Pomeranian. My wife has a Pomeranian. His name is Wookie. He's a really great little dog. But he's small. So every word that we use with a little endearing sound to it to make it sound small. So sometimes when he's acting up or being a little pest, we tell him that he's being terrible. So one of his nicknames is he's a turiblet. A little turiblet. So he's not even the full-size terrible. He's like a little piece of it. He's a little turiblet. See what I mean? That's what it is. Dimlets, dimensional pieces, let's build dimensions out of these pieces of a dimension. So that finally snapped in my brain. I went, okay, now I know what in the world these different dimlet things mean, and now I can start to understand a little bit better. So one cool thing here is with this, we can click on this. Remember I was trying to do desert? So we can do this as a filter. You can type stuff in, and you're going to get a filter. Now we're going to see all the different stuff. Desert temple is not craftable. Okay. And so that's what that is. Now these little things, these absorbers, press shift. Did we already use it on something? Place this block on top of another block, and it will gradually absorb all identical blocks in the area. You can use the end result in the dimlet workbench. So what this thing is going to do, we were going to try and make a desert. Okay? And I click on that, but it needs the material absorber, I believe. Let's hover over. No. It needs the biome absorber. So we can't build that biome because we've not experienced that biome. And you would have to place this. It's an absorber. It's like a sponge. So I'd have to be at a desert biome and place this down to absorb the fact that we're in a desert into this sponge. And then you would use this sponge that has seen a desert in this construction, and that would let us build a biome dimlet desert. So I can't think of what area we've actually been to, what kind of biome we've been to, other than we've been to the end, we've been to the nether, and what's the other one? Whatever that one that's like, I mean, it is kind of a desert, right? What do we call this stuff? Let's run over here real quick. The autumn. This right here. That autumn portal. That would be a dimension, a biome that we could build. That's what that is. But yeah, I think what we're supposed to do before we start doing all this is a step back. We're supposed to we can make like a random tab piece or something like that, and we'll put it in this. One of these things is not like the other, and it'll let us actually open up stuff, but it'll start to make a whole lot more sense. I'm really sorry about this episode. I know it's kind of like we're spinning wheels here, because this stuff is so complex, and there's no explanation. Like I said, I'll have to watch more of that video. All kinds of crazy stuff. We're going to need to look into probably generating some more power as well. Now, what I'm thinking about doing with the power is if we explore this fission, fusion, maybe a reactor, protein reactor, bioreactor, graphite block, fission reactor casing, transparent fission reactor casing. Okay, a fission reactor. Let's go back and look at the quests. Transparent fusion electromagnet. So I think that has to do with a fission fusion type machine that will let us break apart or put together different chemical components. But these different reactors right here. Beryllium block, fission reactor casing. How do you build that? Basic platings and a tough alloy would give us a casing. Transparent casing. Just in casing, But I think that's probably going to be the way to go to try and start making a whole lot more power. Although maybe expanding this would be as well. I will have to check, because I know y'all have put a whole lot of really great comments and stuff and such. So let's see here. I'm going to look here real quick at my, my notes. Just to see if there's anything quickly that we can address. Okay, so I will talk about this. So over here we have our little setup good to go with fighting withers. And several people have mentioned, hey Piggy, why don't you build like one of these little wither cage things so that you don't have to worry about fighting them and all this kind of stuff. You can just go over and smack them. And if I was playing in vanilla Minecraft, I would probably do that. But one, there's a few different things that I've kind of settled on. So one is I've got this really awesome armor that's just, I can take a beating from a wither. It really doesn't even hurt me. And I've gotten it to the point where I think I can defeat a loose wither within like 30 seconds. I mean, it's real easy to fight them now that I've figured out the pattern. You just shuruk them like crazy. They've been shook with shuruk. You shuruk them. Somebody put in the comment section how. Sure I can. Can Piggy say shuruk? And sure he can. Sure he can. I don't know if shuriken is how you would say that. Shuriken? Shuriken. Sure. How many different ways can I come up with to pronounce this name? Sure. Let's see. Let's look at it. Sure I can. 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 Sure I... Shuriken. Oh my gosh, I'll stop. We'll be here all day with that. But yeah, you shuriken them a couple of times, knock them about halfway down on their health. Oh, I didn't know those had gravity affecting them. That's crazy. And then smack them with a sword, an autumn's will. There we go, if you will. And within 30 seconds I can have them dead. And all I got to do is level those little devices up just enough so that we can put them into those other devices and they'll start to level themselves up. The other thing is, now that I kind of know what I'm doing, I don't have to worry about destroying my builds because all I have to do is face a west-east position. And as I'm fighting a wither, if they're smacking me around, they just keep pushing me on this axis. And so I never get any closer to home. Speaking of home, let's just zoom on over. There we go. I'm like, why is it not loading? But yeah, that's what we got going on. Kind of a shorter episode today. Just figured I'd make a few of these items because these are the items that somebody had listed we will need. I think we will end up needing all of them. And just kind of let you know what's going on. And that I have found some information that's going to let me understand a whole lot more what in the world this stuff is going to be. Now, with this material absorber is going to work the same way the biome thing did, but you place it on top of a certain material, and it will begin to absorb all the material around it of like whatever you first place it on. And once it absorbs enough of them, then it will have that material stored in it. I don't know if this material absorber works with antimatter. Let's find out. Just, because we can. See how none of this antimatter is breaking? So it's not going to absorb antimatter. What would be a good material to absorb in it? Let's go over to the autumn. Nope. Gotta go to the right place. Because with the autumn, we can absorb some materials there. And I think these materials, we can actually dump them into that chemical dissolver. And that chemical dissolver will actually give us some good materials. Let's kind of float around here for a minute and see what we can see. What is that stuff down there? I think this is coal. That's coal. So we have limestone, cracked limestone, strange sand. Let's kind of float up here for a second. And what we're going to do is let's look at limestone. Limestone gravel, cracked limestone. Okay, there's limestone. See, we can't put that into a dissolver, so that would be kind of useless to do that. Oh, you cheap shots. Good thing you don't have good strange sand. Let's fly up here and check strange sand. Because see, what I'm thinking is strange sand. That doesn't give us anything. If we can find a block that will give us something and we create a world with that block, then we would have like an infinite amount of that stuff that we could gather and actually like make something out of it. Are you limestone as well? Yes, you are. Strange sand. You know, that sand is very strange. Limestone gravel. Let's float up here. Ooh, what is all that? Have I been over here? I think I have. Oh yeah, I built a wall right there to keep me safe. Okay. So let's see here. Limestone gravel. Do you give us anything? Nope. So I definitely don't want to use it on something that would be a waste. Let's see if we can find a spot. There's some caves underground that have some good stuff in them as well. What is this? Porphyry? I think porphyry gives us some good stuff. What are you? Strange sand and alabaster. and more porphyry. What is that? Sand layer. Okay. So porphyry and alabaster. Let's check that. I know. There's probably some of y'all screaming at the screen right now, right? Porphyry. Okay, let's click on you. That gives us nothing. Alabaster. Nope. Maybe I'm going crazy. I know that there was something here in autumn that if you'll collect it, you can dump it into the chemical dissolver. Let's go over to this pyramid. Maybe that's what. Okay, limestone, strange sand, cracked limestone. Let's check cracked limestone. If that's not it, then we'll just, I'll figure it out between episodes, because I don't want y'all to have to sit here and keep putting up with this. Not car cake. Cracked limestone. No, not hit A. Don't hit A, Piggy. That doesn't do anything. Okay. I don't know what it is. Is there something? Maybe let's look up chemical dissolver. Let's click U. U for uses. You know what? I bet that's what I was doing wrong. The whole stinking time. Cracked limestone. I was clicking on it. Cracked limestone. U for usage. Look at that. Dum, dum, dum. Neodymium, molybdenum. Those are two good materials to be getting. So cracked limestone. Let's go ahead and smack that down. I'm glad that I finally figured that out. I'm glad that y'all screamed loud enough that old Piggy finally heard. So I'm going to set this down real quick and watch what happens. It doesn't do anything. That's odd. Maybe it only works with like your standard vanilla materials. All right, let's do this. Let's go back home. And I've got one more idea we can try. Not fall in there, that's for certain. I almost did. Let's go to the deep dark. Is that here? Yes, that's here. This is going to have blocks that I definitely know are vanilla based, so we can do that. If anything, I want you guys just to see what this block does so that it'll make more sense. Hello, Overworld Cake. Let's just place it down here. We can fly now. There it goes. So see how it's just absorbing random pieces of stone? And then we can see it's got a progress bar. Uh-oh. Oh, there it goes. It's at 100% now. Okay, so let's go ahead and break that. And now I want to see, what is that? So owned block of stone absorbed 100%. Place this block on top of another. Oh, okay, we've already read that. Okay, so by taking this, we can go back home. I know it probably seems a little bit of a waste, but it was impromptu. I wanted y'all to see on screen what exactly it did. We can come over here. We can come to this. And then by placing that piece here, it would let us make one of the dimlets. Maybe if I just type in the word stone? Nope. U for uses on this, maybe? No, not stone U. Hover over that, hit the letter U. That's weird. Okay. Like I said, I'm nowhere near the expert on this stuff. Still learning it myself. So I will get to studying a little bit more of that that tutorial thing that I found, and really try and get myself schooled on this. Really try to understand what in the world it is so that I can explain it, so that it's not so much of like a waste of an episode like what we just made now. Except for we got those blocks done right there, and I explained this. And we got that. That's awesome. But if you enjoyed this episode, please click that like button if you want to see more of these as I release them. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like notifications, click the notification bell. That's all you got to do is just click it. Just reach down and click it. And if you don't want it on, click it off. Just make sure one is the other. You don't want the opposite of what you want, right? But thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to see if I can figure out more of this RF tools and get myself ready for next episode. And that is when I hope to see you is in the next episode.